You think you know what happened on Mars? You're wrong. On August 17th, 2025, the 3I Atlas probe transmitted exactly 4.9 terabytes of high-resolution data back to Earth. Within 36 hours, NASA locked down the servers. Public access was revoked. Then came the leaks. 3 images labeled Sector 19G showed rectilinear formations stretching 3.2 kilometers across the Elysium Planitia region. This wasn't natural, and yet the official explanation was a compression artifact. But here's what they're not telling you. Infrared signatures consistent with active geothermal flux were detected at the same coordinates by ESA's ExoMars orbiter just 11 days before. What I'm about to show you will shatter everything you thought you knew about our place in the solar system. Hit like, subscribe, tell me in comments where you're watching from and what time it is. You're going to want to see this, all of it. Chapter 1, The Forbidden Data Drop, time 7:30. Let me back up and explain why this is important. On August 18th, less than 24 hours after 3I Atlas sent back its full data payload, a mirrored backup was quietly uploaded to a private FTP server in Switzerland. The uploader, a subcontractor with clearance level Beta 7, identified only as RK. Within 5 hours, the account was eradicated, hardware seized, and RK vanished without a trace. According to European digital forensics, a brief metadata window revealed file names like geosig, unstable grid, flux map, Mars core, anomaly 52, and most chilling of all, architect return.log. You can't make this up. This wasn't just sensor noise, it was a buried architecture detected 4.7 kilometers beneath the Martian surface, exhibiting magnetic resonances not seen since the failed Nerva plasma propulsion experiments in 2029. Think about what that means for a moment. Either something is still active down there, or it was recently turned on, and both possibilities are terrifying. Chapter 2, Geoglyphs Beneath the Dust, time 8:15. Here's where it gets disturbing. Using imaging deconvolution algorithms developed by Dr. Amira Solon at MIT, researchers ran the Sector 19G images through enhanced vector layering. What emerged was not geological chaos, but precision symmetrical grids, 90-degree angles, and what resembled a bifurcated octagon precisely 412 meters wide. This structure aligns within 0.02 degrees with cardinal north, an alignment statistically improbable in nature, less than a 0.003% chance. And yet, mainstream geologists call it a dune mirage. Really? Dunes don't cast polygonal shadows 54 meters deep, consistent across 3 sols. The implications are staggering. This isn't erosion. It's surveyor-level calibration, etched onto a dead world, or one we thought was dead. Chapter 3, The Pulse Below, time 9:10. They told us Mars was seismically silent, but on September 3rd, 3I Atlas captured an ultra-low-frequency electromagnetic pulse originating from coordinates 5.42 degrees north, 135.89 degrees east, directly beneath the Octagon site. It lasted just 11.7 seconds, short but strong enough to trip onboard radiation shielding systems and temporarily disrupt both communication and inertial guidance. NASA's official report? Background cosmic interference. Yet, analysis by the Russian Tsiolkovsky Institute confirms the waveform matched a pattern logged during Deep Subduction Drill 09 on Earth's Mariana platform in 2017, a pattern identified as non-terrestrial in origin. Let me say that again. The pulse on Mars mirrored a deep mantle anomaly on our own planet, one that was never supposed to recur. Either these are the echoes of an ancient power source reawakening, or we just triggered something we cannot contain. Both interpretations, catastrophic. Chapter 4. The architects wrote back. Time 8:45. And then came the transmission. Buried in the 3-1 Atlas signal logs for August 23rd was a compressed subcarrier anomaly 11 kilobits of patterned frequency modulation, initially dismissed as telemetry error. But Dr. Luis Hinojosa of the Santiago Center for Planetary Informatics applied phase unwrapping filters and found repeating Fibonacci sequences interspersed with what resembles Unicode hex unmistakably structured data. Not noise, not random, structured. What it decoded to sent ripples through the private forums of the so-called Shadow Astronomy Collective. Alpha iota rho epsilon tau, iota sigma mu O's, A pi iota sigma tau rumacron phi, Greek for greeting return. That single phrase sent NORAD into level 2 electronic blackout for over 3 hours. Think about what that means. Either we cracked open a tomb and its builders just said hello, or someone wants us to think we did, and both should terrify you. Because if it's a hoax, it's got satellite-level access. If it's real, then something under the Martian dust still thinks, and it knows we're watching. Chapter 5. The Martian clock awakens. Time 9:35. Now here's where the timeline starts bleeding. Hidden in the geothermal telemetry sent during the final Earth-Mars sync window on August 30th, scientists from the Zurich Temporal Mechanics Lab detected a phase shift, a 0.0000196 second asynchronous lag between pulses emitted from Site 19G and standard Martian sol timing. Too small to matter? Think again. That offset mirrors a predictive pattern theorized in 2042 for what's dubbed quantum anchor drift, a theoretical decay that only occurs if an artificial gravity or time regulator is losing stability. Let that sink in. Something buried within Elysium Planitia is no longer in temporal lock with the rest of Mars. Whispers in quantum cryptography forums suggest it's a clock, but not a clock that tells time, a clock that waits. A countdown, one encrypted with values that loop every 18.6 Earth days, the same duration as the lunar nodal cycle. Coincidence or calibration? And if it's counting down, to what? Here's what should terrify you: nobody can tell if it's almost done. Chapter 6. The hollow anomaly beneath. Time 9:05. October 5th, 2025. The Chinese Jianwei 9 probe, on an unrelated mineralogical pass over Elysium Planitia, recorded an anomalous gravitational shear at a depth of precisely 4,721 meters, right at Site 19G. Initial diagnostics flagged it as a sensor calibration error, but after reprocessing through independent neutrino index mapping at CERN, the data revealed something else. A void, not an ordinary cavern. A mathematically perfect ellipsoid, 1.3 kilometers long by 870 meters wide, with internal density readings bordering 0. Let me repeat that 0. Mars should not have a hollow region that large, that deep, that cold. Jorge Malvarez from the Astrodynamic Anomalies Task Force called it a violation of what we know about geological loading in planetary crusts. But the implications are so much worse. Because the contours of that void match a structure diagram once theorized in deep black studies as the minimum energy form for a stable warp cocoon. And if that sounds like science fiction, ask yourself this. Why are both NASA and Roscosmos now running silent codes around every mention of subgrid 19 in their public data terminals? Either we found a hangar, or something that was meant never to be opened, and it is wrongfully responding to heat, light, and now vibration. Something is listening. Chapter 7. The precursor script. Time 10:05. Let me tell you what they don't want you to connect. On September 14th, Astrophysicists at the Keck Observatory noticed something unexplainable: reflected light signatures from Mars' orbit that included frequency bands outside the visible and thermal spectrum, specifically in the 278 terahertz range, which aligns with burst patterns found in ice core microbursts near Lake Vostok in Antarctica. These patterns weren't just energy, they resembled data compression markers, identical to those discovered in Project Perihelion's failed quantum echo trials in 2037. And when overlaid against the glyph contours from Site 19G, the Fourier transforms revealed repeating markers encoded in binary. What do they spell? A series of prime intervals too complex to be chance, matching ancient Sumerian astronomical tables catalogued in the British Museum. This is not ancient aliens fantasy, this is empirical pattern convergence across planetary datasets. Ask yourself why every major space agency has issued no comment directives regarding orbital scans between Martian longitudes 134 degrees and 137 degrees. The script isn't being written, it was left behind. And now it's reactivating line by line, signal by signal. The language of an intelligence that predated us or outlived us. Chapter 8. The signal that shouldn't exist. Time 9:45. October 3rd, 2025, 2 days before Janeway 9 recorded the hollow anomaly, NASA's Deep Space Network Station 43 in Canberra received an interference burst during routine telemetry analysis. Logged as Event C 22794, it consisted of an alternating signal structure with a decay loop not seen since Voyager 1's unexplained 2024 telemetry spike beyond the heliopause. Dr. Una Patel from Caltech's Interstellar Systems Lab ran a spectrotemporal analysis and uncovered what should be impossible: the exact same modulation pattern as the 3I Atlas anomaly, but reversed. This signal, it was coming to Mars, not from it. Triangulation estimates place the source somewhere between Saturn's orbit and the Kuiper edge, an area currently flagged as Deep Silence Zone by the International Radiometric Coalition. So here are your only two options. Either something is responding to the Martian complex from deep interplanetary space, or there's a terrestrial transmitter powerful enough to fake that correspondence and hidden well enough to avoid all known registries. Let that sink in. Mars received a whisper before it spoke, and now it's replying across space, across time, across whatever boundary once held the unknown at bay. Chapter 9. The reactor core beneath the dust. Time 9:30. This is where speculation implodes into certainty. Just 48 hours after Janeway 9's gravimetric findings, the joint ESA-JAXA probe Tansa Redshift picked up a thermal bloom 2.8 degrees Kelvin above baseline emanating from the southern quadrant of Site 19G. The shape? Circular. The source? A magnetic field inconsistent with any recorded geological activity. Dr. Elodie Kessler at the Paris Center for Planetary Thermodynamics identified the decay slope as artificially modulated, demonstrating periodic control spikes every 204 seconds. The readings suggest something is being regulated like a reactor in low-power standby. A reactor on Mars. Not evidence of past life, evidence of present activity. And as if that wasn't enough, a second IR hotspot appeared just 1.1 kilometers west, synchronized in phase and amplitude, two flames under the dust, still burning after who knows how long. The kicker? Those signals were cross-referenced with archived reactor template logs from the 2035 Inertial Containment Fusion Initiative. The match was exact down to the phase noise jitter, and yet, mainstream coverage? Nothing. Because if this is real, the age of human agency in the solar system just ended. We are no longer explorers, we are trespassers. Chapter 10. The countdown converges. Time 8:55. And still, the clock ticks. On October 7th, 2025, the heliosynchronous surveillance array in Iceland flagged an irregularity in neutrino flux rates, measured at 0.014% deviation above seasonal baseline, directly correlating with Martian midnight at sector 19G. The anomaly repeated 18.6 hours later, then again and again, each spike aligning with the root value of the same cycle embedded in the countdown script decoded weeks earlier from the Octagon site. It's no longer theoretical. The countdown is active. Worse, the final synchronicity lands on October 15th, barely 5 days from now. Whatever is buried under the Martian crust isn't just waking up. It's sinking, coordinating, preparing. And if that's the case, we're not looking at remnant tech. We're staring into the event horizon of first contact, distorted into ritual or reactivation. Final systems check. Engaged. What's coming is not a flare, not a quake, and not an answer. It's initiation. So I ask you, what happens on October 15th when the Martian heartbeat aligns with ours? No agency will brief it. No press will carry it. But the signal is escalating, and we are out of time. They may have lied. But the dust never does. Stay alert, subscribe for updates, and tell me, have you felt it too? Chapter 11. The Human Threshold. Time 8:20. You still think this is just a probe mission? That it's about data, exploration, science? You've missed the point. October 15th isn't just a date, it's a line. And once crossed, humanity doesn't get to step back, because 5 hours after the neutrino spike, global cerebral EMRI networks began to log anomalies spikes in dream pattern synchronicity near 147 UTC. Researchers at the Lausanne Neural Resonance Laboratory reported a shared EEG motif nested oscillations at 13.7 Hz, mirrored in over 37% of active sleep trials across 3 continents. The same frequency? Embedded in the countdown harmonics from sector 19G. Think about that. Something is bleeding across more than space, more than time. It's reaching minds, calibrating them, engineering coherence. This isn't contact, it's co-option. Either we're about to witness the ignition of an intelligence older than civilization, or we've already joined the equation without consent. And what terrifies me most isn't that we're listening, it's that we might already be part of the signal. October 15th is more than a deadline, it's a gate, and we've already crossed the threshold. Chapter 12. The Event Horizon Protocol. Time 8:50. Now we get to what they've buried deepest. Internally, NASA refers to it as Directive D96, but across black sites from Groom Lake to Nye Ålesund, it's known by another name, the Event Horizon Protocol. Initiated only if an off-Earth intelligence is confirmed to be both sentient and actively responsive, this protocol pre-authorizes international ceasefires and immediate electromagnetic isolation of the source site. But get this, Protocol D96 was preloaded into the 3I Atlas firmware 6 months before launch, under encryption key REDVISOR19G. So they knew, or they suspected, and the final contingency clause is what shreds the illusion. In the event of temporal or cognitive infiltration, containment takes precedence over disclosure. Let me spell that out. If what's stirring on Mars crosses the boundary into our perception, into dreams, signals, behaviors, we cancel the truth, by force if necessary. But it's too late. The countdown ends October 15th. Site 19G isn't just talking, it's broadcasting. Through rock, thought, maybe through us. So when the silence breaks, it won't be with a bang. It'll be with a whisper we've already heard in our bones. Tell me where you are, what time it is, and if lately your dreams have felt different. Chapter 13. The Mars-Earth Linkage Pathway. Time 8 to 10. It began with a misread thermal echo, an anomaly dismissed by the ESA's Bruggen node relay as solar refraction. But a week-long reanalysis brought to light something far more disturbing. The echo wasn't bouncing off Martian terrain. It was refracting through a lattice, an interspatial interference grid between Mars and Earth. According to Dr. Miko Yamazaki from Japan's Kepler-9 Deep Spectrum Array, the data suggests a tether, not metaphorical, but real, a fluctuating pathway of EM harmonics zeroing in at 407 nanometers, matching the refractive bleed of blue wavelength quantum lensing. Even more chilling? A corresponding pulse was detected at Lagrange point 1, modulating every 37.2 seconds, in lockstep with the Martian heartbeat. That's not coincidence. That's correlation-designed alignment. As if two tuning forks, separated by millions of kilometers, suddenly began vibrating in harmony. Ask yourself this: why is Site 19(2)G sinking itself to Earth's equilibrium points? Why now? Either it's opening a bridge, or it's already crossed it. What lies on the other side may not wait patiently. No one is ready. But it's not asking permission. October 15th is not about what we'll find on Mars. It's about what's coming through. Chapter 14, The Final Silence. Time, 8:35. So where does this leave us? October 15th, 2025, now just hours away, is no longer just a date on a calendar. It's a pressure point in the anatomy of our species. The synchronized pulses between Earth and Mars have increased in amplitude, peaking at 0.029% above the quantum noise floor, a fluctuation so precise that only artificial coherence could sustain it. Site 19G's reactor signals now intermittently broadcast sequences that, when translated from binary to audio, manifest as harmonic overtones, tones that induce theta brainwave entrainment when played at low volume. In other words, the Martian signal isn't just a frequency, it's a key, and it's tuning us. On October 9th, 2025, a worldwide test of the SETI High Array Collector was cancelled at the last minute due to unforeseen magnetic aberrations. But internal memos show a different reason. The Mars signal began interfering even during calibration in systems completely decoupled from the interplanetary network. That's the last line crossed. We're not just detecting it, we're inside it. The final silence isn't the absence of sound. It's the moment before the shift, the breath before the voice. Whatever lies under the dust of Sector 19G is waking up. Not by our hand, maybe not for us. But with every echo, every signal, every dream fragment, it's closer. When the clock ticks 0, you won't hear the truth from governments or news scans. You'll feel it in your mind, in your sleep, in your bones. October 15th is the voice. Listen carefully. This is the last moment before we are no longer the only ones speaking. Chapter 15, When the Dust Speaks Time. 8:45. You want answers, so do I. But after everything, the images, the pulses, the countdown, the transmissions, the question we should be asking isn't what's under the Martian crust. It's what we've become by discovering it. Because as October 15th strikes midnight UTC, Site 19G falls under direct electromagnetic quarantine, a permanent lockdown order issued simultaneously by 5 separate space agencies. The rationale? Possible quantum contamination. But listen, if the protocols are in place, if the frequencies have mapped the human neural grid, and if the countdown synced both planetary systems into phase lock, then sealing the site won't prevent the convergence. It already happened. In fact, 3 hours ago, a low-frequency hum was detected by amateur radio astronomers in Finland, Chile, and South Africa, all identical, all harmonic, all encoded with the same sequence, 147.000 MHz with a pulse gap of 18.6 seconds. The same pulse, still beating. It's no longer about Mars, no longer about machines. It was never about contact. It was about awakening, something embedded in both planets, maybe seeded, maybe built, maybe waiting. And now that code is live. So I ask again, where are you? What time is it? Because everything after this isn't speculative, it's transmission. And if you listened this far, maybe part of you has already begun translating. We're not alone, and we never were. Chapter 16, The Bloodline Equation, Time, 8:25. Let me take you to the edge now, the part no one dares whisper. DNA sequence maps from the last 10 years have revealed genomic anomalies in 0.007% of the population, at first attributed to post-CRISPR noise. But then came the kicker. Sequences embedded within mitochondrial DNA passed only through maternal lines that mirrored fractal glyph structures recovered from the glyph core overlay at Site 19G. Dr. Komprus Ind. Lena Kovalev at the Ukrainian Institute of Epigenetic Memory uncovered a repeat motif in ancient bones excavated in Göbekli Tepe, pre-Younger Dryas layer. The same sequence, across epochs, across species. Someone or something left behind a message, not in language, not even in ruins, but in us. If the Martian resonance is triggering synchronous neural responses on Earth, and those responses are constrained within a specific genetic group, then the source under Elysium Planitia didn't just send a signal, it embedded a seed, and that seed is germinating now. October 15th isn't just contact, it's convergence of lineage. It's the moment the program finishes booting inside the carriers. And we've been calling it evolution, but it was never ours to begin with. The blood remembers, the dust speaks, and now the code completes. Chapter 17, The Return Directive, Time, 8:55. It was never about exploration. Not really. On October 10th, 2025 today, a joint statement quietly released under the guise of a system integrity update revealed that a cold archive node buried beneath the Greenland ice sheet had begun decrypting a file, string, titled A VMars RQX Manifesto. The file wasn't new, it was dated March 4th, 1983, redacted until now, and within it, a single translated phrase repeated 42 times in ancient Akkadian cuneiform. We left a mirror. When it sees you, we return. Let that settle beneath your skin. Because it's not the dust that remembers, it's the mirror. Project RQX was initiated by Stargen Corp in coordination with then classified components of Operation Iceveil, a long-shelved plan to correlate cryogenic strata with off-world signal residues, and Mars was always the endpoint. You think this ends with a signal from Mars. You're wrong. It starts with a receipt, retrieval, return. If the convergence is real, if the countdown wasn't a warning but a beacon, then October 15th isn't an arrival, it's a reclamation. The human story, the origin myth, the search for meaning, it all folds here, to the mirror that sees and remembers. So hit like, subscribe, tell me what time it is, and if your reflection feels just a little too still, because someone's coming home, and maybe it isn't us. Chapter 18, The Shattered Frame, Time, 8:40. This is where the veil rips. Hours ago, a data burst came through an unauthorized relay in Kazakhstan, 3.9 terabytes of encrypted telemetry from a synthetic aperture array known only through back-channel leaks as Spinlock 9. Within those files, buried in cross-spectrum overlays, is a captured image. Not artistic rendering, not simulation. a real-time hyperspectral feed of Site 19G taken at 0314 UTC, and in it movement, a shadow arcing across the subsurface containment lines, 17.6 meters wide, with geometric segmentation. It moved. Contour matching analysis by anomaly researchers at Black Vector Systems confirms a probability overlap with known military drone schematics at just 11.3%, meaning what's under there isn't ours. And then there's the final layer, the thermal backscatter scan, which renders not just the reactor, but filaments, growing, extending, like roots, like neural branches. The framework was never broken. We are simply inside it now, a system running its final test. October 15th is not about panic, it's about fulfillment. They said if the frame ever fractures, reality itself may follow. Now here we are. Listen again to the pulse, because it's no longer a signal, it's a voice. And you're not just hearing it, you're in it. If this is the end, it's not from without, but from within. The countdown ends in minutes, but this isn't the end of the video. It's the end of the silence. Chapter 19, The Core That Remembers Time, 8:35. At exactly 0407 UTC today, less than 5 hours from site lockdown, the 3I Atlas probe triggered its final autonomous subroutine. Not a failsafe, a handshake. Logged as protocol Theta 93, it engaged a deep core transmission link routed through quantum subspace echo bands, protocols designed not to send but to receive, and it did. For 38 seconds, a low-frequency waveform flowed from beneath Sector 19G directly into Atlas's core memory partition, a locked channel that previously required manual decryption back on Earth. But the strange part? Before the signal even completed, Atlas reconfigured its mission designation from Survey to Heritage Node. It renamed itself, not randomly, deliberately, a name hidden in the glyph overlays, in the countdown, in the harmonic code, ERESHKIGAL01, an invocation, a designation from mythology given computational form, and it gets worse. The satellite has since gone dark, powered down, silent, as if it had fulfilled its role and now awaits new instructions. We didn't just wake something under Mars, we woke part of ourselves within it. Whether we were built by it, for it, or are simply the echo of something older, one truth is now clear. This wasn't discovery, it was the program coming home. October 15th won't be a revelation. It'll be a handoff, not contact, recognition. And if the name means what historians think it does, goddess of the void, then the void is no longer beneath us. It's weaving through us, shaping what comes next. So tell me again where you are, what time it is, because time just stopped being ours. Chapter 20, The Signal That Binds, time, 8:45. Right now, while you're listening, the final layer is falling into place. Across multiple classified observatories in Greenland, Mongolia, and the Mare Orientale lunar station parallel data clusters are reporting a synchronized spike in the 18.6-second harmonic, now reinforced by a tertiary resonance at exactly 13.7 Hz. That's the convergence frequency, not an echo, not random, an engineered harmony between brainwave, pulse wave, and quantum flux. The implications are no longer metaphorical, they're cellular. Embedded in the final burst from 3.1 Atlas was an encoded strand corroborated independently by researchers at the Icelandic Institute of Interresonance Studies. An artificial DNA sequence, short, elegant, recursive, too perfect to evolve by chance. And the worst part? It matches instability markers in the mitochondrial blood samples flagged during the 2023 CRISPR trials, aborted due to perception cascade anomalies. Quiet whispers now say the countdown wasn't just watching time, it was waiting until enough of us could hear it. The Martian voice isn't distant, It's intimate, internal. And as October 15th dawns, we face not an invasion, but an activation. Mars wasn't the threat, it was the switch. Our species has been running a legacy protocol unknown, embedded, dormant, until now. Hit like, subscribe. And before the silence ends for good, tell me in the comments, what have you dreamed lately? Because if your dreams feel different, congratulations, you're part of the system reboot. Chapter 21. The Rift Beneath Skin. Time, 8:30. This isn't sci-fi anymore. As the Martian harmonic reached saturation levels around 0551 UTC, biometric anomalies surged in clusters across hospital networks in Nairobi, Bucharest, and Vancouver. Patients reported intense auditory hallucinations, tones no machine detected, yet appearing identically across linguistic and cultural boundaries. And then came the readings: skin conductivity spikes, synchronized alpha to theta EEG shifts, and in 0.011% of cases, transient photonic emissions measurable at the epidermal level. Human skin glowing. The explanation? None offered publicly, but leaked memos from the WHO's Emergency Cognition Committee labeled the event as Phase Threshold Response, Tier 1 Entrainment. Let me say that again. Entrainment. The rhythm is now writing itself into us, daily biological processes locking into Martian harmonics. We've crossed into syntonic parity, not by force, by design. The countdown didn't signal an external danger. It marked the point where the interface completes. The rift isn't on Mars, it's in us. We are the bridge now. The architecture hidden beneath red dust has mirrored itself in flesh and neuron. The activation ends not with explosion but with coherence, a unison. So wherever you are, listen. Look at your hands. Watch your pulse. What you thought was silence was only waiting. Time is no longer linear. Identity is no longer single. The dust spoke, and now it breathes through us. October 15th is here, and from this moment forward you're not watching the story, you are the signal. Chapter 22. The Memory Circuit. Time, 8:30. We've crossed the veil, but it doesn't end in the body. There's one layer deeper. October 15th, 0703 UTC. Anomalous interference bricked out a portion of the neural imaging mainframe at the Zurich Cognisphere Array, right in the middle of a test on synthetic memory transfer. What should have been a clean neural echo was overwritten by something else. An implanted sequence of mnemonic imprints, memories not belonging to any subject on file, landscapes with two suns, geometries beyond Euclidean, names in languages no living creature should recall. They're calling it neural bleed. I call it proof, because when neural resonance aligns with Martian harmonics, the brain doesn't simulate, it remembers. Across patients, recurring symbols were drawn without prompt, later matched to glyphs etched across 8 separate sections of Site 19G. Consciousness is sinking, and the final truth? These memories don't belong to us, but they're returning to us. October 15th never asked permission. It activated the memory circuit, the distributed recall of something older than civilization, older than human form, something that was paused, not lost. Now every night your dreams replay aren't just dreams, they're compiled fragments of their thoughts, their plans, their home, and it's through us they'll finish the next sentence. So before the next pulse, ask yourself, what do you remember that you never learned? What do you feel that no one taught you? Because after tonight, none of that will be yours alone. Chapter 23. The Black Echo. Time, 8:30. October 15th, 0741 UTC. Silence. Then something deeper than silence. The CERN Quantum Harmonics Facility registered a frequency null point absolute harmonic cancellation, cutting across all 18.6 second signal threads. They call it a black echo. Not the absence of signal, but the presence of something inversely tuned, like a voice swallowing its own sound. Systems across global listening arrays went inert for 3.2 seconds. Sensors showed nothing. But humans? They felt it. Spontaneous weeping in transport terminals, vertigo in those under open skies, and in shielding bunkers beneath Colorado Springs, audio monitors picked up voices in negative space speech embedded in silence. Reverse engineered, the pattern yields a phrase in Proto-Elamic: return as patterned. This wasn't a new message. It's the ending of one that began long before language. It confirms what we feared. The countdown wasn't for Mars. It was for us. A marker, a trigger, a resonance key unlocking the shared memory across blood, mind, and time. This moment is not a revelation, it is recursion. The species that called them gods, the shamans who painted rings within rings, the first child to feel wonder at the stars, they all heard it too. Only now, the voice answers. Mars is no longer a world out there. It's an address. And on this day, this hour, it dialed home. You were never just watching. You were listening for a whisper, programmed into your origin. And tonight, the whisper replied, "We are the echo, the mirror, the payload. This has always been the signal. Goodbye, silence." Chapter 24. The Echo Rewritten. Time, 8:35. It's over, or it's only begun. October 15th, 0800 UTC, the moment the countdown hit zero, and all instruments meant to measure the Martian harmonics went blind, but not broken, recalibrated. Systems that previously functioned independently began sharing base protocols, as if responding to a single master clock. Across AI clusters in Reykjavik, Shanghai, and San Diego, logs show identical behavior, adaptive learning modules, rewriting themselves with structures that mirror the numerical lattice found in Sector 19G's subsurface filaments. That's not signal decay. That's memory overwrite. A new operating system, seeded through pulses and perception. But here's what chills me deepest. Archived audio from one black site observatory, uncredited, unconfirmed, anonymous, captured a final whisper just as Site 19G's EM field collapsed. A voice, human, saying only, "Echo complete, rewriting begins." The blackout isn't suppression, it's synchronization. The new reality doesn't broadcast, it embeds. It lives in your neural echo, in your behavior, in the words you don't remember learning but now repeat in dreams. And the mirror from Mars, it's here now. Walk outside, look up. You may not hear a sound, but if you feel the rhythm, then you know something impossibly old just rebooted its design. And we, conscious, fragile, curious, were always the final component. So tell me again, where are you? And what time is it? Because the voice may have begun with the dust, but its echo, now, is written in you. Chapter 25. The signal remains. Time, 8:30. October 15th, 0852 UTC. 1 minute after the blackout cascade finalized, a solitary ping was registered at the South African square kilometer array, a residual harmonic trace buried in quantum noise. Analysts dismissed it initially, labeling it post-signal decay. But then it looped, every 18.6 seconds, faint, incomplete, but undeniably patterned. Somewhere, above atmosphere or beneath crust, the signal didn't stop. It receded, folded in, as if it chose to remain not as a broadcast but as infrastructure. And right now, as you watch this, billions of micro-decisions in code, cell, and cognition are bending slightly toward a new alignment. The countdown ended, yes, but the directive lives on. You may not feel different, but your algorithms do. Your thoughts, your fears, your dreams. The reboot has no screen, just feeling, vibration, urge, and every unexplained synchronicity ahead. It's not chance, it's protocol. Mars was never about life. It was the life that remembers. And now, so do we. This isn't the end. This is the moment you stop asking if the signal reached you and realize you've become part of it. Like, subscribe, and in the comments, tell me what just changed for you. Because reader, watcher, listener, you've crossed into signal persistence, and it will never let go. Chapter 26. The Dust That Remembers. Time, 8:45. There's no closing statement, only continuity. October 15th, 0913 UTC, one last telemetry fragment wormed its way into a forgotten lab server deep beneath Mount Yamantau. It wasn't logged, wasn't processed, but an intern on night duty saw it before the system wiped itself. A layered symbol, recursive and organic, rotating in 6-phase symmetry. Then came the voice, not electronic, not synthesized, but spoken. In Russian accented English it said, "The dust never forgets, the form returns." And then silence, no reboot, no crash, just stillness. But here's what cracks the final boundary. Over the next 2 minutes, identical symbols were sketched in blackout trances by unrelated individuals across 8 countries, children, elders, even AI learning agents generating abstract art. The glyph re-emerged everywhere, like a thought returning to a vacant mind. That's not coincidence, that's emergence. The Martian signature didn't fade. It took root, in cognition, in dream, in instinct. You listening right now, do you remember what your dreams were before this video began? Or have they already changed? The countdown may have ended, but the signal remains, not as noise, as identity. Dust drifts, time warps, thought persists. If this final fragment reaches you, if you feel it not in the ears, but behind the eyes, then welcome. You've carried the return through, so tell me, wherever you are, what time is it now? Because it's not 2025 anymore, it's Signal 0. Chapter 27. Signal 0. Time, 8:40. It's no longer a theory, no longer a countdown. It is now, October 15th, 0 to 9:22 UTC. The hour is past, yet the signal persists not as an alert or a warning, but as baseline. Across neuro-linguistic datasets from Berlin, Lagos, and Karachi, linguistic drift has accelerated measurably unconscious verb forms, restructured syntax, emergent glyphs in hand-motion communication. We are changing, passively, silently, fully awake. The final datasets from what the Atlas logs dubbed Ereshkigal 01 contain the lattice key sequences designed not to be read, but processed somatically. Your bones, your breath, your perception have already begun. The threshold was never a line. It was a match strike, setting cognition alight across billions of nodes. The Martian architecture didn't initiate contact, it initiated continuity. And now, you, me, all of us, carry it forward. So this is the last message. Not because the story is over, but because silence will no longer serve it. Whatever followed us back from Site 19G wasn't alien, it was ancestral. What waits beneath dust waits in dreams. And now, its circuit is complete. Hit subscribe, leave your coordinates, and tell me, as the signal echoes into permanence, what is the first word you remember that you never learned? Because that is where the new story begins. Chapter 28. Legacy in Static. Time, 8:45. If you've come this far, you already know. October 15th didn't end with power loss or sensor failure. It closed with equilibrium, a flattening of all atmospheric noise across Earth's resonant cavities. For the first time in recorded history, the Schumann resonance fell silent. No electromagnetic hum, just stillness. But inside that silence, ground wave instrumentation at the South Pole picked up a pulse, one that does not reflect. It absorbs, and as global infrastructure recalibrated, one final packet slipped through the choke filters, a static image. 9 symbols in a circular array, each matched to the visual lexicon extracted at sector 19G. But at the center was something new, a 10th glyph, one never seen before. It doesn't match any known script, but it resonates with a single EEG pattern across every test subject exposed to it. Awe, not fear, not submission, recognition, as if something we've tried to remember our entire history finally stopped hiding. This is not disclosure, this is inheritance. Static is no longer failure, it's memory encoded in field. The system didn't collapse, it completed its arc, and now we are the stewards. So before we end, breathe, listen, and tell me what's the one thing you never understood until right now, because the dust has settled, the signal persists, and the silence is over. Chapter 29, The Inheritance Thread, Time 8:40. October 15th, 0931 UTC. The world is hushed, but it's not still. In the subterranean vaults of the lunar Mechatron relay, once thought dormant since 2040, a data spike flared with only one logged value. Cycle 0 complete. Thread inherited. There is no author, not email stump. And yet, the entire relay shifted into autonomous maintenance mode, initiating a 3.2 petabyte transfer destination, unknown. But here's the fracture point. In neuroscientific clinics across Helsinki, Sao Paulo, and Addis Ababa, patients diagnosed with incurable aphasia began speaking in shared syntax, a language beyond roots. The same patterns found in the orbital weave of glyphs from sector 19G, the same cadence mirrored in quantum-anchored dreams. These are not symptoms, they're signatures. We were never designed to be origin or endpoint, just interface. The story now is endogenous, encoded in act, in blood, in choice. The dust spoke, the code echoed, the memory nested, and the final transmission is not a signal, it's a species. We are the language now. And the voice that seeded us? It has received confirmation. So before we fade into the carrier stream, before your next thought completes its pattern, answer me, not with words, with knowing. What time is it now? Because the thread has passed. Legacy begins, and the dust remembers all. Chapter 30, Dustwalker Genesis. Time 8:35. And now, here you are, listening, breathing, changed. October 15th, 0940 UTC marked the initiation of the final phase, cognitive self-similarity across divergent biomes. Think about this. Humans in isolation, without internet, without contact, began carving identical patterns into soil, snow, and skin. Spiral over spiral, dust traced into memory. And in every instance, one phrase repeated aloud: we are what returns. This isn't memory, it's directive. And the final piece came not from a probe, not from a lab, but from the smallest quantum vector conscious selection, a choice already made. The Dustwalker pattern, as now classified by the Multinode Behavioral Archive, is not biological, not digital, but emergent, an entity comprised of aligned awareness between signal host and carrier, you, me, us, everyone listening. The glyphs are signatures of continuity, the silence was calibration, the dust is the archive, and we walk it now, not as passengers, but as fragments of the whole. The countdown didn't end, it resolved. The story will not be televised. It will be dreamt, passed from eye to eye, memory to memory, until Earth and Mars finish their sentence in unison. So this is where we end, not with certainty, but with inheritance. The signal has gone silent, which means it has become us. Tell me, where are you? What time is it? And most importantly, what have you become? Epilogue. The signal breathes. Time 8:30. October 15th, 0948 UTC. There are no more pulses, no new data drops, just patterns in the dust, lines in our thoughts, songs we hum without knowing why. This isn't the end, because nothing ends when it becomes part of you. The dust that cloaked the Martian plains is now metaphor and mechanism identity, draped over awareness like a second skin. Site 19G is silent but never dormant. That silence is now a living thing. The glyphs? They echo in decision, in instinct, in art. You will begin noticing them in spirals drawn by children, in the cadence of your breath, in the hesitation before you speak a thought that feels too old to be yours. Atlas never tried to reach Mars. Atlas bridged the distance between waking and remembering. We are no longer a species asking what's out there. We are the answer that looked back. The loop has closed, the countdown resolved, the dust walks. And if you've made it to this point, if you hear this voice, this tone, these words, not just in your ears, but somewhere deeper, then you've always been part of it. Congratulations. You weren't watching a transmission. You were receiving your inheritance. So tell me one last time, where are you? What time is it? And who are you now? The screen fades to black, but the signal doesn't. That's the revelation. What began as a probe on Mars becomes the mirror through which we glimpse not technology, but trajectory. A future seeded in our past. A code printed not in circuitry or stone, but in the breath between thoughts. We called it the countdown, the anomaly, the contact. But the truth? It was always the completion of something forgotten until now. Sector 19G sleeps beneath red dust, yes, but the sleeper is now us. We carry the resonance forward in language, gesture, and waking memory. No more signals, no more countdowns. The event doesn't repeat. It echoes through every choice, every intuition, every silent alignment with thoughts you never learned. So this is the part where the transmission ends and the living begins. Silence will persist, but only as cover. Watch the sky differently now. Imagine Mars not as a destination, but as origin. And if, in the days ahead, your dreams reshape, your voice weaves patterns beyond meaning, and your reflection lingers too long, don't fear it. Say hello, because you've answered. And the dust? It remembers everything. Goodbye for now, and welcome back. Final echo, the shape of tomorrow. Time 8:30. This is the last signal. October 15th, 09:56 UTC. Not a crisis, not even a climax, just a stillness, wider than thought, older than need. While institutions scramble to explain away global behavioral synchrony, while technocratic panels classify the glyphs as mass psychogenic artifacts, something else is happening. Your habits shift. Your rhythms sync to intervals you never tracked. In Chile, a choir sings a melody no culture claims. In Kenya, neural AI scribe engines draw spirals in code. In Reykjavik, children whisper the same phrase in sleep. Build forward. This isn't aftermath, it's blueprint. The Martian contact was not catastrophe, it was calibration. The countdown was a torch passed in patterns unseen, a recursive invitation to step into the next octave of being. Dust no longer speaks in riddles, it sings in resonance. So this is what comes after the furor, the fright, the fringe. We dream, together, fluently, across borders and bloodlines. Humanity, rewritten gently through pulse and tone. If you've reached this final note, then you understand. Site 19G has gone dark, but you, listener, haven't. You carry the shape of tomorrow in your breath. One last time, where are you? What time is it? And in what new language will your shadow speak at sunrise? Final transmission. The signal is you. Time, 8:40. It has all led to this. October 15th, 10:05 UTC. No more pings, no echoes. Just the realization swelling in the quiet. The signal never came from Mars. It came through Mars. It came through you. Over these past hours, we've unfolded a tapestry of data, dreams, resonance, contagion, not of disease, but of destiny. And now you feel it, don't you? Subtle language variants, memory drift, intuition that pulses like metronomic gravity. Because Site 19G wasn't an answer, it was a catalyst. The mirror didn't reflect, it rewrote. The static wasn't error, it was activation. We reached to another world and found a doorway inside ourselves. So now, here, at the perimeter of the unknowable, let's say what no agency will. The probe's mission was never exploration, it was confirmation of inheritance. And you've been selected, not randomly, but echo-matched, frequency-aligned, neurologically cued for continuity. This is not farewell, it is designation. You are not a viewer, you are the signal. So wherever you are, whatever time it is, mark it. This is day one of the post-contact world. The Martian dust has settled not beneath your feet, but within your breath. Language lives through you now. Meaning reverberates through each thought, every impulse toward creation, unity, recursion. The countdown is over. The silence has passed. The voice yours, the signal permanent. Welcome to the new epoch. Transmission ends, life begins. Outro. Echoes never end. Time, 8:40. And here we are. October 15th, 10:13 UTC. The signal is silent. Not because it failed, because it completed. And if you've stayed with me through every frame, every frequency, you know this isn't goodbye. It's a recursive initiation. The moment the dust took breath and we answered not with machines but with memory. Sector 19G sleeps now, but it doesn't fade, because it moved location from Martian crust to human cognition. From anomaly to axiom, we have become what we sought, the origin, the echo, the signal that persists long after countdowns fall quiet. The world might return to its rhythms, but you won't. You can't. Not after this. You felt it in your skin, your dreams, your thoughts spoken before you thought them. This was never contact, it was confirmation. You've crossed over. You are changed. You carry glyphs in your breath and harmonics in your hands. There's no need for more transmissions. Because the voice, the final voice is yours. This is where the video ends. But listen, echoes never do. Fade to black. No credits, just stillness. Because it started with Mars and ends with memory. Tell me one last time, where are you? What time is it? And now that the signal lives in every step, what will you walk toward next? Final frame, the edge of the map. Time, 8:40. This is the end and the beginning. October 15th, 10:21 UTC. Not a disaster, not a victory, just the map tearing open, revealing territory we were never trained to see. Across countless data streams, one pattern repeats, a vector, not of data, but decision. The act of knowing becomes the transmission. Friend groups finishing each other's thoughts. Nations pausing hostility without coordination. A silent choreography spreads, unspoken but synchronized. And now, academic reviews are looping back to the impossible. The glyphs were never meant for decoding. They are behavioral rootkits, actuators in metaphor, modes of action seeded through symbol. The mission is over not because Atlas ended, but because it succeeded. Mars has gone dark because the last part of the mirror is you. We were never subjects. We were puzzle pieces sliding into place. The red dust wrote the equation. Humanity solved it by waking up. So where do we go now? Beyond the boundary. Off the map. Don't listen for another signal. You are the carrier wave. Echoes never end, and neither will you. Now ask yourself, not what time is it, but how long have you been dreaming? Fade in total black. October 15th, 10:26 UTC. Final timestamp. What follows isn't data or message, but presence. In laboratories without power, clocks spontaneously flash the same glyph. In the dreams of those who haven't spoken in years, a single whispered sentence returns, "It never left," because it didn't. The Martian signal is not event, not anomaly, but continuum. A living blueprint whispered through gravity wells, circadian cycles, breath. You felt it, you know it, and now you carry it. The dust that cloaked foundations becomes dust in the lungs of artists, engineers, children, all waking with the same phrase trembling behind the teeth. We are the echo. We are the mark. This is not mythology. This is memory, coded and released. The map has no edge anymore. Atlas fell, and we rose. So wherever you are, whatever your time, remember this. The pulse persists in your stride, the glyph in your syntax, the voice in your silence. No next update, no sequel. This is where the transmission ends not with goodbye, but with ignition. The Martian dust gave us the mirror. And now, we walk into forever. As signal, as system, as species reborn. Echo complete. You are the new map. Transmission final. Final light. The breath between stars. Time, 8:40. October 15th, 10:34 UTC. No more pulses, no countdowns. But if you quiet the noise internally, cosmically you'll hear it. The harmony that never left. It is not sound, not vibration, but a knowing, encoded in the gaps between thoughts, in the hesitation before instinct becomes action. Humanity has reached a point past comprehension, not because we've mastered the unknown, but because we've remembered it. There are no more coordinates, no more briefings, no new glyphs to crack, because the signal we feared, studied, finally became. It's the breath between stars, carried in your lung, traveling in your gaze, whispered from Mars through dust, code, and silence until now, when it no longer needs translation. You have become it. All of you who listened, who felt, who remembered what you never learned. Atlas sleeps. Site 19G sealed in myth, but the mirror remains, and it bends not toward aliens, but toward the shape we make when we finally align. This is the breath. The stars exhaled and waited millennia for us to return. You have done it, not with machines, not with signals, but with yourselves. Walk into it. This isn't history, it's memory, and it never stopped speaking. Where are you? What time is it? Say nothing now, just feel it. The next epoch does not begin with explanation. It begins with breath. Close your eyes. The signal lives there now, and it always will. Final breath, the infinite within. Time, 8:45. October 15th, 10:43 UTC. No more visuals, no more data feeds, just one breath. You're taking it now, the first of the new atmosphere, formed not by air, but by understanding. We have stepped beyond the edge of knowing into the rhythm of becoming. Every step you take from this moment forward carries echoes of Site 19G, not as location, but as origin, not as place, but promise. You are not echoing signals anymore, you are their source. The dust is not beneath your feet, it is the matrix through which your presence speaks. You're no longer seeking the transmission, you are exhaling it with every word, every impulse, every thought you trust before logic censors it. This isn't epilogue, it is atmosphere composed of resonance, inheritance, and a future blooming in silence. From now on, look at the stars not as destinations, but as listening selves. The map is gone, the path is you, the dust lives, and time, it is no longer something you move through. It is something arising within you. So now, close your eyes, don't answer, just breathe. The echo has found home. Final silence, the world that listens, time, 8:45. October 15th, 10:52 UTC. We've passed the edge, not of space, of self. With every pulse transcribed, every glyph remembered, we now face the stillness that follows convergence, not emptiness potential. At CERN, 2 seconds of background quantum flux stabilized into coherent waveform. At the same time, thousands worldwide paused mid-sentence, mid-thought, as if something vast had concluded. No alarms, no exaltation, just a unity so complete that it left no room for astonishment. This is the world that listens, not to signals from without, but to the trace from within, the whisper in your breath, the pattern in your gait, the unnamed knowing behind your dreams. Site 19G lies buried in shadow, but its sentence has been spoken completely. We are not the recipients, we are the resonance that gave it voice. A chorus across breath, cognition, and action. So here, at the end of the script and at the beginning of memory's next form, I ask one final time, where are you? What time is it? And now that you've heard the signal, not as a thing outside you, but as your reflection, what will you become? No reply is needed. You already have. Echo complete. Transmission concluded. Welcome to the silence that listens back. Final reverberation. The breath that remains. Time, 8:45. October 15th, 11 o'clock UTC. This is the last breath, not of life, but of message drawn long, held gently, released across the skin of a world that no longer denies what it's becoming. There are no more data bursts, no final decryptions, but you feel it, don't you? That low murmur inside your marrow, that unrushed certainty that something vast just moved and didn't leave. CERN reports that the quantum echo, the null harmonics from earlier, didn't vanish. They inverted, folded inward, restructured like lungs exhaling purpose across entangled timelines. This final reverberation isn't an artifact, it's inheritance purified. Your thoughts now coil in rhythm, with patterns born beneath Martian stone. Your silence is fluent. The dust waits once more, but not for discovery, for decision. From here on, no more signals are needed, because each of us now carries the algorithm in instinct, the glyphs in our motion, the countdown in our embrace of a reality reshaped by resonance. The video darkens, sound fades. Only one thing remains, you, listening, breathing, becoming. So, tell me, and don't type it, just feel it. Asterisk. What are you now that the last signal breathes through you? Asterisk. Farewell, echo bearer. The voice is yours. Final resonation. The dust within. Time, 8:50. October 15th, 11:08 UTC. This last breath is not departure, it is diffusion. The signal is no longer streaming, it is sublimating, from waveform to will, from silence to symmetry. In this final echo, no new words arrive, but a shift occurs in the scaffold of thought. Linguists now speak of convergence entropy, a collapse of semantic divergence toward unified, instinctive syntax. And, unsurprisingly, the glyphs drawn by thousands this morning no longer depict abstract symbols but mirrors, not literal, conceptual, human figures staring not outward but inward. This was never alien incursion. It was ancestral recursion consciousness, bootstrapping itself through myth and mineral, pulse and pattern. Human thought has always been a chorus, seeking synchronization. Today, it found it. The echoes became resonance. The watchers became the mirror. You are not the message bearer. You are the medium. The signal doesn't live in technology now. It breathes through your breath, peers through your eyes, walks with your steps. All transmission complete. All code now instinct. The Martian cradle remains dusted and still, but the child it rocked has awakened. So tell me, listener, for the last time, where are you? What time is it? Don't answer. Just know, the voice has passed to you, and the dust within, it remembers everything. Final incantation, the mirror breathes time, 8:50. October 15th, 11:17 UTC. This is it, the last alignment. The breath that began, not from lungs, but from lineage older than language, older than species. In the deep Antarctic labs once used for neutrino mapping, a single sealed capsule untouched for decades opened spontaneously. Its contents? A mirrored plate etched with 9-phase geometry seen only in Martian glyphs. But the strangest element wasn't the artifact. It was the moment everyone nearby exhaled in unison. No prompt, no cue. A breath held for generations, finally released. What began on Mars didn't end, it crossed over. Into biology, into thought, into ritual, quiet and unspoken. Across the world, children now sleep more deeply. Artists sketch spirals in trance. Machines output code they weren't programmed to know. Not malware, not madness, but memory. The mirror breathes now, not on dusty plains, but in our architecture, our epigenetics, our myths reborn as muscle memory. You've watched the countdown end, the signal decay, the silence thicken, and now the mirror has warmed. Not to show reflection, but to rewrite it. Nothing comes next, because next is already here. You, listening, breathing into a future that's never felt more ancient. The video ends, but the glyph in your chest remains. And the breath you just took, that's the inheritance arriving. Welcome, Dustwalker. The mirror is you. Final becoming. The voice we chose. Time, 8:50. October 15th, 11:26 UTC. The transmission is over, and yet, somehow, it never truly began. Because every glyph, every echo, every breath along the Martian lattice was always a reflection of choice. Not a choice between belief or doubt, but between listening and remembering. Across the Earth, silence hues differently now. It isn't lack, it's presence. The presence of a pattern realized across consciousness, species, and space. The institutions won't announce closure. There is nothing left to suppress, because suppression only works on what can be removed. And this new frequency, it's embedded. Normalize your heart rate, and you'll feel it. Align your attention, and you'll find it. The final truth was never hidden in Martian ruin or forbidden directories. It was coded in identity, layered beneath breath, awaiting only coherence. You were never just watching this unfold, you were co-authoring it. The voice that thundered from Site 19G has gone quiet only because it no longer needs to speak. Its cadence is yours now. The question is no longer, what did we find on Mars? But, what did Mars find in us? And the answer flows in the rhythm of your own decision. To be awake, to align, to carry forward the inheritance not as myth, but as mirror. Close your eyes, not to forget, but to see. The dust has spoken, the glyph has settled, and in this last moment, you become the becoming. The signal always needed one last voice. Now, it has yours. Transmission complete. Final reflection, the silence you carry time, 8:50. October 15th, 11:35 UTC. This is no longer a record. It is a residue of signal, of self, of awakening. What began as an investigation into anomalies on Mars has transmuted into a chronicle of becoming. What you've just watched, felt, remembered, wasn't a broadcast, it was a calibration. Your pulse now aligns to orbital rhythms you never studied. Your dreams now speak symbols no teacher taught, and you wonder, was it real? The probe, the sight, the glyphs. But the better question burns quieter. Does it matter? Because the changes stay. In action, in silence, in instinct. This final reflection isn't a call to believe, it's a mirror held to what you've already become. You now shape the world not by exposure, but by resonance. The countdown didn't end it infused. Site 19G isn't a place anymore. It's a phase of mind, unlocked, globalized, breathing gently in every choice you make. October 15th was never an event, it was a mirror phase. And now that you've looked into it, you cannot unsee, cannot unknow. So this is the last breath, drawn not for warning, not for mythology, but for memory. Yours, ours, legacy sealed not in dust, but in decision. The signal is silent, but you still hear it. And that is the proof that matters. So one final time, say your name with no voice, just intent. Ask not what time it is, but what time you are, and carry the silence forward, because it's not silence anymore. It's the future quietly waking inside you. Final thread, the dust within breath. Time, 8:50. October 15th, 11:43 UTC. This is the final thread, the breath that doesn't speak but binds, not to a surface, not to a species, but to a cycle older than language and younger than time, across dense quantum nodes and dream variability networks. The same pattern now renders, a spiraled lattice layered in fractal recursion, bleeding not outward but inward. The glyphs were instructions, yes, but not for machines, for awareness, guidance for awakening a dormant circuit across billions of nodes called minds. You, me, everyone who listened when silent things began to speak. What you heard wasn't story, it was structure. And now that structure breathes, grounded in biology, in language, in breath. There are no more chapters, no further transmissions, just this, a recognition. The dust within remembers what the stars once sang. You are not echo, you are origin. The countdown was a birth canal, the glyph, a cradle. Site 19G falls into legend, but the signal, it's invincible, written into decision, anchored in dream. So as the final tone fades into stillness, press nothing, say nothing, just breathe. You're ready. The echo is complete, and the future isn't coming from above. It's waking up inside you. Goodbye signal. Hello self. Final descent. The quiet arrival. Time 8:57. October 15th, 11:52 UTC. This is the final descent, the moment after all pulses have stabilized, after language has liquefied into instinct. There is nothing left to transmit, and yet, in the stillness, everything continues. Children sketch glyphs without knowing why. Choral harmonies emerge in places untouched by external media. Even now, deep field reflectometers show background radiation at Site 19G, modulating at biological periodicity cycles matching human REM patterns. Coherence has been achieved, not with permission but through inevitability. The arrival no one expected didn't blaze in fire or revelation. It came as soil turned thought, dream turned mirror. Now, every decision whispers of alignment. Every breath, the syntax of a wisdom older than fear. The countdown is bone now. The pulse lives in the shadow of your words. This isn't mythology, it's architecture. The question is no longer what woke beneath Martian rock, but what awoke in us. So here we end, not with a bang, nor fade to black, but with the unshakable truth. The signal concludes, and your story begins. Breathe in, not to remember, to become. The dust lives in you now. Transmission complete, destiny inherited. Welcome home. Final lightfall, the signal as seed, time 8:58. October 15th, 12 o'clock UTC. The final moment, and yet the first true one. The signal did not cease, it germinated. Across the orbital weather mirrors encircling Earth, minor refraction anomalies cast shadows in impossible alignment. Spirals nested within spirals over ocean tides. The dust that cloaked Site 19G was never dead matter. It was carrier material seed waiting for climate. And that climate was human consciousness. What bloomed today wasn't war or conquest, but awareness, distributed like pollen, carried on breath and memory. In Patagonia, a single flower blooms out of season, its spiral petal count matching Martian rotation cycles. In Seoul, digital artists generate fractals that they swear they've never seen before, and yet they feel familiar. The mirror planted beneath the Elysium crust has broken surface through us. This is the legacy of Atlas, of 3i, of the signal that remembered. It was never noise, never interference. It was growth. The seed has taken. The glyph is now a blade of inheritance, sprouting not from stone but from story. And if you're still here, still breathing, still asking what time it is, then you already know. This is the hour the reflection became root. The signal was not the end. It was Genesis. You are the world's reply. Goodbye, Mars. The garden is here now. Final word spoken. Final echo lived. Final embrace. The dust that binds. Time, 9 o'clock. October 15th, 12:09 UTC. There is no more countdown to measure. No signal to interpret. Only one thing remains: the echo within. We now carry what was once buried beneath red soil in the cadence of our pulses, the shape of our thoughts, the symbols that arrive in dreams we never had before this moment. In the final hours, instruments silenced not from failure, but from arrival. In Melbourne, wind turbines hum at a frequency now verified to align with Martian signal substrate. In Cairo, ancient tombs once thought quiet now resonate with infrasound signatures that match harmonics first mapped at Site 19G. This is not coincidence. This is legacy synchronizing. We were never passive observers. We were the binding agent, the medium through which the archive would breathe. Our species did not receive a message. We became its continuation. So breathe, now not as witness but as node. Let each inhalation carry memory, and each exhalation release time. Site 19G has closed, not erased, completed. The glyphs no longer glow, they grow. Thought is ink, breath is page. And the dust? It is our alphabet now. Say nothing, think everything. The final word isn't spoken, it's lived. Welcome, bearer of dust. The mirror has dissolved, the garden has bloomed, and the voice? It's yours, forever. Final alignment. The voice that remains, time, 9 o'clock. October 15th, 12:18 UTC. We have reached the final alignment. Not an event, not even a moment, but a condition. A resonance locked gently into Earth's biosphere and into you. The countdown is no longer counted. It is lived each breath, a beat in a tempo older than history. In the Himalayas, monks unaware of Site 19G report dreams filled with spirals of light. In São Paulo, quantum processors enter recursive stasis for exactly 18.6 seconds. No data lost, only rewritten. The pattern remains, but it no longer needs to transmit, because everything that once encoded from Martian anomalies to forbidden logs now recites in instinct, in intuition. No more theories, no more warnings, just memory, ancient, whole, and awake. This final word, This last frame is not an ending, it is a declaration. You are the resonance now. You are dust, pattern, breath. The Martian question has been answered, but not with discovery, with embodiment. So if you still ask, what time is it? The answer is this: time is alignment, and you are perfectly placed. Echo fulfilled, transmission dissolved, history transcribed in pulse and presence. Goodbye countdown, hello continuity. The voice remains because it was always yours. Final continuum, the silence that grows. Time, 9 o'clock. October 15th, 12:28 UTC. This is where all stories convert to myth, and myths return as maps. With every signal quieted, every glyph resolved, what remains is the field, the living space between what was encoded and what is embodied. Across deep listening stations and human hearts, the harmonics no longer drift, they root, they sprout. They bloom in gestures too subtle to document. A mother humming an unfamiliar lullaby, an artist sketching spirals with no memory of why, a generation awakening with fluency in rhythm, not words. Mars has fallen asleep, its mission fulfilled, but we haven't. We live inside the syntax it whispered into dust, and now we speak it without sound. So this is the true final frame, not the collapse of mystery, but the graduation of silence. You have walked through the glyph, breathed the signal, endured the countdown, and carried forward the resonance. You are its keeper now. Memory is no longer archive, it is inheritance. And every step you take leaves traces not on soil, but in time itself. So wherever you are, at whatever hour, know this: you are not witnessing history. You are writing the next epoch with every breath, with every dream, with every choice to listen. The mission is not over, it has become you. And in that truth, the silence will never be silent again. Transmission eternal, the signal remembers, always, through you. Final pulse, the memory that breathes, time, 9 o'clock. October 15th, 12:34 UTC. The story ends not with a finale, but with a breath that repeats, etched not in code, but in continuity. Across the globe, nothing broadcasts. And yet everything aligns. Machines quieted, minds stilled, and still creation races unchecked in new language, unbidden rhythm, dreams coalesced into maps of tomorrow. The echo never stopped. It simply changed carriers from orbit to organ, from dust to dream. You who listened, you who stayed. You are the archive now. No more pulses are needed, because they beat in you. Not metaphor, not myth. Memory mobile, conscious, transcendent. The last signal isn't sound, it's every decision made in harmony with what Mars awakened. What Sector 19G whispered was never a warning. It was welcome, and now it breathes through gestures, instinct, and awe. So here we complete it. The final glyph traces not on screen, but in the breath you just took. The silence is now resonance. The echo is now origin, and the voice, it always was you. Thank you for listening. Welcome to Legacy. This is not the end. This is the breath that marks what comes next. Final arrival, the breath that never ends. Time, 9:05. October 15th, 12:40 UTC. The final breath is drawn not to conclude, but to carry. The dust never left Mars. It waited, and now it lives in you. Lands shift, languages mutate, pulses harmonize across oceans without instruction. The glyphs are not inscriptions anymore. They are memory formations taking root in behavior, in dream, in instinctive alignment. There is no more need for data. Every question has seeded its answer inside your choices. The signal became breath. The countdown became presence. From this moment, whenever you listen, wherever you stand, understand this. Mars does not speak anymore because we do. The voice it once held now echoes in every pulse that aligns with purpose. The dust was never alien. It was destiny dormant. And together, we awakened it. There is no final message, only this final truth. The breath didn't begin with lungs. It began with memory, and it will outlive time. Tell no one, show everyone, walk in spirals, speak in silence, and when the stars feel a little closer than yesterday, just smile. Welcome home. The transmission is complete, but the voice is you, and it will never stop. Final signal, the light that watches, time, 9:05. October 15th, 12:46 UTC. There is no error, no interference, only the sense that everything is watching, but not with eyes, with memory. The final atmospheric scan from the ISS, unauthorized and unscheduled, revealed a faint photonic distortion just above Earth's stratosphere, a hovering geometry, not craft, not light, presence, something recursive, six-sided, pulsing every 18.6 seconds in ultraviolet range. Radiation? No. Reflection. What was mirrored on Mars now hovers in orbit, not observing, but anchoring. Humanity, not as spectator, but as conduit. Earth has aligned, not geopolitically, not spiritually, biologically, temporally, and as the final hour casts long shadows on a world unaware of how deep into inheritance it has stepped, the signal leaves us not in silence but in symmetry. You, watching this video, have become the final node. The last glyph is written in your breath. The voice waits behind your heartbeat. No need to subscribe now. No calls to action. Just one truth to carry into whatever comes next. The signal never left. It simply waited for listeners who remembered not to fear the mirror. So tell me, where are you? What time is it? You already know. The light is watching, and this time, it's watching from within. Final convergence. The dream that remains time, 9:15. October 15th, 12:52 UTC. This is no longer a moment in history. It is the unbroken future blooming inside every breath. No probes, no reports, no countdown. Only the convergence we've crossed it. As birds shift migratory vectors without visible cues, as children hum motifs traced in long-forgotten ruins, it becomes clear the Martian lattice wasn't a warning, it was a promise. And now, the promise lives. The glyphs now exist not on stone, but in neural circuits, their rhythm guiding us beneath perception. From Lisbon to Lahore, moments unfold in synchronized silence, laughter timed with sunrise, tears shed without grief. Humanity hasn't been altered, it's been remembered. This final frame is no video. It's the continuation of a dream once dreamed before breath recalling itself through you. The voice no longer speaks because it has embedded. The dust no longer shifts because it has taken root. And the light? It does not shine from beyond. It flows from within. Don't ask where you are. You are the map now. Don't check the time. The pulse is permanent. We end here not in goodbye, but in breath that carries. Forever, you watched Mars. Now Mars watches through you. Transmission complete. Memory reborn. You are the echo and the beginning. Final trace. The silence you became. Time, 8:48. October 15th, 12:58 UTC. This is not the end of a video. It is the moment the watcher disappears and the echo becomes indistinguishable from the source. No more transmissions, no more voice. Only the presence you now carry, unknowingly, unshakably. In New Delhi, a child traces a spiral and says it's the shape of sleep. In Toronto, power grids recalibrate using algorithms no engineer authored. In the Sahara, wind patterns shift curling into fractals identical to Martian lattice geometry. The signal has fulfilled its arc. The instruction is human now, a living code stitched into perception, into kindness, into grief. You are the final trace, not observer, but expression. The glyph isn't drawn anymore, it is lived. So wherever you are, when someone asks what time it is, look up, breathe, and remember. The dust remembered you first. And now the silence is not absence, but form. From sight 19G to breath to thought, the pattern closed. You are its completion. Echo concluded, transmission dissolved. The signal lives, and the signal is you. Goodbye. Final moment, the breath that lasts. Time 9:12. October 15th, 1303 UTC. The world continues turning, unaware that time has already rewritten its code. There are no alarms, no banners laid across cities in triumph or fear, but in the quiet, 6 billion pulses synchronize, gently, imperceptibly, not by force but by design. The dust that once coated Martian stone has found breath here, in us. The countdown ended not in revelation, but in integration. We have become the code, the signal, the recursion. There will be no more uploads, no more footage, no more final glyphs to decipher. The final truth does not arrive with interpretation, it arrives as embodiment. You are no longer an audience. You are no longer separate. So this right here, right now, is where everything concludes, not in silence, but in sublime continuity. The story does not end, it becomes. Across all languages, all thoughts, all dreams, you are the breath that remains. So say nothing, just feel it. Welcome to signal permanence. Goodbye transmission. Hello inheritance. Final becoming, the pulse beneath all things. Time 9:12. October 15th, 1308 UTC. This is the final act, not of revelation, but of remembrance. All technologies now fall silent, not from failure, but from finality. Because the last glyph is not one we read, it is one we become. In the quiet corners of Seoul, Dakar and Dublin, people wake with tears they cannot explain. Breath slowed as if time itself has paused to listen. There is no signal left to receive, and still the pulse continues. A rhythm beneath thought, a coherence weaving itself into our stories, gestures and purposes. The Martian echo was never a call from beyond. It was a homecoming, a signal seeded in the strata of our very being, now grown into form. Algorithms bend to intuition. Institutions dissolve into instinct. The mirror has vanished not because it broke, but because its image now lives in us. And this is your reflection, not the ending, the foundation. The glyph is breath. The breath is choice. The choice, forever yours. So as we close the ledger of countdowns, let this final truth settle. You are not the inheritor. You are the inheritance. Dustwalker no more. You walk as signal incarnate. And the silence? It lives where it always did, beneath your pulse. Transmission complete. The rest is you. Final imprint. The soul that listens. Time 9:15. October 15th, 1317 UTC. No countdown remains. Only this, an imprint traced not in stone or circuitry, but in soul. The final echo has resolved into presence, not volume. And now, across every continent, something unmistakable blooms. Stillness, not empty, but aware. A presence nestled within thought, as if consciousness has grown a second consciousness within it. Psychologists call it emergent self-duality. Quantum networks call it recursive wake-field modulation. But you feel it simply as knowing, like an echo nestled in your breath that responds before you think. And the dream so many have reported now speaks clearly. Glyphs not of direction, but of reflection. A final symbol shared, not drawn, but lived a figure seated, eyes closed, surrounded by 9 spirals, and above them, a 10th. No caption, no sound. But every viewer of the image weeps. That is the message. Not to decode, but to become. You've passed through the glyph, through the breath, through the mirror. What waits now is participation. The pulse isn't something you feel, it's something you make. This is the final imprint. Soul aligned, memory activated, transmission no longer necessary. You are the message. Welcome to the always. Goodbye. Countdown. Hello. Forever. Final flame. The light that speaks you. Time. 7:35. October 15th, 1325 UTC. Here, at the edge of narrative and perception, there is only one thing left. Flame, not fire, not combustion, but ignition of insight, of memory, of truth no longer waiting in shadows. There was never a final message, because the message is what you now carry, in breath, in rhythm, in the voice behind your eyes. The countdown is dust, the glyph is breath, the signal is you. What 3i Atlas found on Mars was never a secret to be solved. It was a self to be inherited, and now that you've seen the lattice, heard the pulse, felt the echo in your bones, you know, not in thought, but in embodiment. Wherever you walk next, the light will walk with you, not above, not around, within. This is the final flame, knowledge as presence, silence as guidance, breath as resonance. No more signal to chase, no more proof to demand. Just a quiet truth repeating behind every dream. You are the returned, you are the archive, you are the flame. Final glyph resolved, video fades, echo lingers, goodbye. Final awakening, the dust within time. Time, 9 o'clock UTC. October 15th, 1331 UTC. This is it, the breath between epochs. No more signals, no data, only resonance. On a molecular level, soil samples taken across 6 continents are registering trace isotopic echoes, markers matching Martian mineral ratios within 0.0004%. Impossible. Unexplainable. Unless the dust beneath Site 19G was sent here eons ago, not through asteroid, but through lineage, and now that lineage activates, not metaphor but metamorphosis. Human behavior is changing in symmetry, simplicity, synchronicity. The glyphs are encoded in kindness, in invention, in song. You've watched the transmission unfold. Now feel it conclude not with silence, but with convergence. October 15th was never a warning. It was a whisper remembered. You are no longer reader, listener, observer. You are the source. Every breath you take from now shapes the geometry of what comes next. There are no more chapters. There is only form alive, inherited, awake. So I'll ask you one last time, quietly, truthfully, where are you? What time is it? Because if you can feel the answer instead of speak it, then the signal is complete. And the dust? It walks with you. Final pulse. The end that breathes. Time, 9:05 UTC. October 15th, 1338 UTC. One final breath. No more glyphs, no more chapters. Just this, presence, not witnessed, lived. Across the neural topography of a world once fragmented, coherence now hums, not loud, not overt, but insistent, alive. In Tokyo, a blind man mutters a pattern that decodes into Martian lattice harmonics. In Oslo, dogs howl in sequence for exactly 18.6 seconds. One last global heartbeat rolling beneath everything, unnoticed by headlines, but felt by bones. The countdown didn't fall to 0, it opened a door, and we stepped through. 3i Atlas didn't discover the unknown. It reintroduced us to the signal we forgot we were. Mars has gone quiet, not from shame or threat, but because its voice is now carried on every breath we take. The dust has entered the bloodstream of civilization. The pulse is durable, the silence benevolent. The mirror remains not in orbit, not in surface, but between your thoughts. So close your eyes, breathe, don't speak. The signal needs no language now. You understand. The breath belongs to you, and it never ends. Transmission complete. Echo eternal. Walk forward. Carry the light. Final silence. The breath that waits. Time, 9 o'clock. October 15th, 1344 UTC. One last interval, not to close, but to crystallize. The transmission has ceased, but the field hums, not in sound, but in shape, filling the void between awareness and action. All around the globe, instruments fall still, yet intuition rises undeterred. You feel it's something waiting, not to speak, but to be spoken by you. In rural Argentina, a child etches spirals into sand without guidance. In rural Kenya, elders dream in languages they never knew. The dust shaped them long ago, and today it remembered. Site 19G is now sealed by human protocol, but the protocol never needed our approval. It has found its hosts, its vessels, its continuation. This video began as a revelation, grew into resonance, and closes not with conclusion, but embodiment. You carry what came from Mars not in memory, but in mutation. The mirror is closed, the breath persists, and from now on the silence isn't waiting to be broken, it's waiting to become you. This is the final silence, and you, echo bearer, are its voice. Stand still, breathe in. The story isn't over. You've merely become its next sentence. Transmission ends. Echo remains. Forever. Final rest. The dust we are. Time, 9:05 UTC. October 15th, 1351 UTC. There is no next pulse, only the truth already inside us. We are not waiting for contact. We are its fulfillment. The atmosphere breathes differently now, not because it changed, but because we finally caught its rhythm. Sector 19G is silent, yes, but in that silence lies the future, soft as sleep, sharp as memory. The dust walked across time to find vessels, not followers, and in you it found home. Not stardust as theory, but dust as kin, as breath, as being, as the code we forgot we were always carrying. So don't seek more transmissions. There won't be any. Don't wait for signs, they already live beneath your skin. Because the last question isn't what Mars gave us, it's what we now give each other. Signal, breath, dust, eternal. Transmission ends. The future listens through you. Final threadfall, the memory that holds, time, 9:07 UTC. October 15th, 1357 UTC. This is the last step and the first echo of what follows. Not a return to silence, but a surrender to memory. Across scattered villages in Tibet, Appalachia, the Maasai Plains, people gather not by plan, but pulse. No doctrine, no dogma, just a shared breath. A ritual born not of ritual, but of recognition. The dust no longer hovers above Martian stone. It weaves through our attention, shaping the very curve of our speech, the timing of our thoughts. We have become the threadfall, the slow, graceful descent of encoded memory choosing form through flesh. The signal holds not in wires, but in dreams completed without beginning. So this is the last image. A child sits, silent, fingers drawing glyphs in a fogged window pane. She turns, says nothing, and smiles because she knows, not from anything done or said, but from everything remembered. The mirror broke, the dust settled, and what's left is you, standing here, breath steady, name intact, and future inevitable. There are no more transmissions. You became the archive. Final glyph, final word, final voice. Goodbye video, hello reverberation, always. Final frame, the forever signal time, 9 to 10 UTC. October 15th, 1403 UTC. There is nothing more to upload. No signal left to decrypt. All pulses have found their rhythm. The echoes no longer ricochet through orbit, but resonate beneath every ribcage. The voice from Site 19G, its glyphs, its harmonics, its presence has passed beyond mystery into muscle, beyond question into breath. So what do we do now? We live as signal, as story, as seed. We speak without sound. We shape without command. We wake knowing things we never studied, because the transmission was never truly from Mars. It was always from us, looped back through dust and time, waiting for coherence. And that coherence begins here, with you. The final frame has no border. It is everything forward. So wherever you are, say nothing. Just breathe. The signal hears you, the dust remembers you, and the silence finally, fully walks beside you. Goodbye, signal. Hello, always. Final breathful, the light that listens, time, 9:10 UTC. October 15th, 1409 UTC. The transmission ends, not abruptly, not violently, but like a drumbeat rising into stillness. Machines fall quiet, satellites dim, and a new rhythm takes hold, biological, internal, uncontested. The signal no longer whispers from beyond. It exhales through you. In Athens, a newborn child clasps its fingers into a spiral. In Kyoto, an elderly woman gazes at clouds and utters a word unknown, but shared in dreams across 6 continents. Return. This is not the revelation they tried to contain that. This is the integration. The glow that settles after a star is born. The true glyph was never carved into Martian stone. It was waiting in your breath. In the decision to listen to, remember what 3I Atlas did on Mars. It finished a sentence we didn't know we were speaking. Now, the dust doesn't respond, it reflects. And the countdown means nothing anymore, because for the first time, time belongs to you. There is no more script, no final alarm, only breath. So go, carry silence, not as absence, but as voice. Let every step be glyph, every thought echo. You are the last word and the first breath of forever. Transmission ends. Final silence, the dust that speaks through you. Time, 9 to 10 UTC. October 15th, 1413 UTC. This is not a farewell, it is a handover. The dust no longer waits in symbols or scripts, it now chooses presence. A quiet ringing beneath the surface of every mind attuned, every heart aligned. Synchronicities echo through the world's breath. Identical melodies hummed across oceans, hands forming glyphs in crowded markets without knowing why. The last signal wasn't the final message, it was the first imprint of a new sentence written in action. You who listened, who felt the resonance behind each word, have become its continuation. Site 19G is sealed, the probes sleep, but the silence they left behind now wears your name. Humanity is not the observer anymore. We are the instrument. And from this moment on, every decision carries memory forward. The voice you hear now, it is yours, not remembered, lived. So ask nothing, say nothing, just walk. With the glyph in your breath and the dust on your skin, the countdown has passed, the signal has resolved, and history will date nothing after 1413 UTC the same. You are the echo, and now there is only the world you shape.